What the heck was that?
Well, that's
Hey everybody, I'm Laser Dude, and yeah, I know it's been a while since I've done a review, and you know what? I'm just gonna be honest and say that I haven't been reviewing a whole lot of stuff because of three main reasons. Number one, I have a kid. There's a kid in the mix, another one on the way. So yeah, so there's that. Obviously. Number two, there really hasn't been a whole lot these days that I'm looking forward to. Like, I built my channel on the shoulders of superhero movies, and I really have not had a superhero movie that I've been really aching to see until this one. And, let me just get one thing straight here, okay? I know that there's a lot of things in this movie that are good, and I'm going to talk about them. There are a lot of good quality parts about the movie, and in some of the way that some of the characters are handled. I am still not giving up hope that James Gunn has a good handle on this stuff going forward, but my gosh, did I feel like this movie went out of its way to piss me off. Okay? Like, out of its way to say, screw you. In so many different little ways. And I know everyone has, like, their own vision, and everyone has, their own thing of Superman. But it was just like, it started as something small, and then another thing happened, and another thing happened, and there was stuff that okay, let's just get into it. It's another Superman story. This one wastes absolutely no time and saying, hey, all that stuff on Krypton and stuff over there, we're going to address it with a quick text, and you know what? I was okay with that. Okay, the movie, I've seen James Gunn say in interviews how he's like, yeah, you know what, there's three different superhero movies, things that in superheroes that I don't need to see again. Uncle Ben getting shot, we don't need to see Bruce losing his parents, and I don't need to see a Superman traveling to Earth. And you know what, I agree with that. I kind of almost wish there was a little something like the opening credits, Like Watchmen, I always think of Watchmen told an entire story of an entire superhero team just through the opening credits using slow motion and, Neil Young. Oh, shoot, I just praised Zack Snyder. Let me just be clear. Obviously, I've showed that I've had a lot of disappointment in this movie, but I want to make one thing clear. I am not a Snyderhead. I have been looking forward to them hating this film. I've been reveling in this fact. I've been like, you bunch of people just won't let go. The old DC is not coming back. And honestly, I don't want it to. Really, there was not a whole lot about the old DC universe that was spectacular. There was a meh, that was pretty good. Terrible sequel. There was just pockets of good stuff in it, but not good stuff about it. The first all good of that was just like, oh, no notes, you got it down pat, was the Suicide Squad. Not Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad. And that's why I was so, excited to see James Gunn's take on Superman. And I just don't think it works. I don't. I really don't. And it does certain things very well. Like, okay, let's talk about some of the things very well. Clark Kent and Lois. It's not too different from how we've seen it in other properties. We skip over how they met, how the thing went down. We skip over all of that. They're just two people who have dating. She knows he's Superman, and they're, in a relationship, and they're working at it. And I'll say that both of the actors, no problems with them. I think that the actor David Cornsweet, that they got to play Superman, very good. No problem with him. The actress, I haven't looked up her name, and honestly, I'm just coming into this a little hot, so I'm not gonna. But she's really good, and I really like her as Lois Lane. I actually, in the beginning, there's a whole thing where Superman stepped in and interceded on a war. And I thought, I love it when you ask these questions. These are really good, pressing. Does Superman have the right to just go into another country and depose its dictator? Sure, it might be a dictatorship, but you know what? What gives Superman the right to just rip it out of the power of the people's hands? Well, maybe the people don't have the power. These are all interesting questions, but it's kind of like simplified. Like, they were going to attack, like the people that they're going to attack. It's a little bit over the top with the fact that they only have like pitchforks and stuff. And I'm just like, why are you there? This is one thing that bothers me in so many superhero movies, and it might have just been one of the straws that broke the camel's back for me, but there's so many scenes where like stuff is happening and people are just there and they shouldn't be. There's a scene where a country is invading another country and there's a bunch of kids there thinking, oh, Superman, come save us. Are they in a city or something? No, it's like a field at the border. Why are you there? There's like people with pitchforks and stuff. Like, we're going to defend our country? Like, what are we doing here? Okay? Like, what are we doing? You think that a country doesn't have any military at all? Like, sure, show that they're outnumbered. Show that there's overwhelming. But, like, there's kids over here at the border for no reason. What are you doing? And then there's a scene where a giant monster is attacking the city. And you know what? There are so many people that are just like, oh no. I'm like, why are you still here? Because like the monster starts small and then it grows big. But by the time it's so huge, like it establishes this took a long time to do it. So it's like, why are there still people in this area? Like, the monster was released at night, and it was like, 3 feet tall. And then it cuts to the afternoon, and he is like half the size of a skyscraper. I'm like, okay, so it took a while for us to get to this height, and yet there's still hundreds of people all around. Some of them are on their phones, which I totally get would definitely happen. But a lot of us would just run, okay? A lot of us would just run. And there's so many just people in, like, the scene in the trailer where Superman's, like, grabbing that girl and stopping her. What was she even doing? I think that scene was just bad, because she was just, like, looking at the ground, standing there, and it looked like she was, like, bracing, like there was a bunch of stuff that was about to go off behind her. Like, why was she there? Oh, I'm just gonna Okay, Lex Luthor. Did we not learn our lesson, guys? Did we not? Am I crazy in thinking that this is the exact same problem as Jesse Eisenberg? To be fair, I know some people are probably going to be coming after me. There are some scenes where he's really good. There's a scene where he basically has Superman hostage and is interrogating him, and the way that he is handled in that scene is actually quite good. However, Lex's attitude is still a little bit corny. Look, my classic Lex is Clancy Brown Lex. He is very calm and, very suave and stuff. And then when he gets angry, he gets pissed off and starts yelling. This guy has that a little bit, but I think when he yells, it doesn't sound like an angry, intimidating man. It sounds like a whining wimp. It sounds like, why are you getting in my way? I mean, there is just like, it's not as bad as Jesse Eisenberg. I'm not saying it's as bad as Jesse Eisenberg, but it's still not Lex. Michael Rosenbaum had this sort of thing down where he was very always calm, but then when he was yelling, he was, just frustrated. And flippin' Tessmacher. Oh my gosh, I hate Tessmacher. Every single movie she's in, she makes Lex look stupid. And that was fine when it was the Christopher Reeves, and it was just like, oh, he doesn't, Tessmacher is there, and he shouldn't have trusted her, and he's like, I'm the smartest man. It was over the top. It was a little corny. But every single movie her or a character like her has been in, it just always messes things up. I don't know if it was Tessmacher, but it was her character in Superman Returns. A similar character where high value type person who eventually betrays Lex, and Lex didn't see it coming. It's like, okay, I guess here it is again. But in this one, there's no excuses. Like I'll get into the spoilers part, but like he literally doesn't have any scenes with her as liking her. You at least felt like Gene Hackman enjoyed her company in the original one. Like Kevin Spacey, oh my gosh, do not make me praise Kevin flippin' Spacey, but you know what? He had the mannerisms down as Lex. He had that sort of very calm demeanor and that anger and that spiteful rage against Superman. He had that down. The writing was terrible. He's a terrible person, but he had it down, okay? Where this guy, my gosh, it feels like we're doing the same thing. Okay, if you want, I'm not going to say that this is a 0 out of 10 movie. I'm not going to say that it's even, a 4 or a I'm going to give it a 5. Okay, and you might think I'm crazy with that, and I have my reasons, and I'll get into them, but it's just like, I did not enjoy this movie at all, and it hurt more and more as I watched it, because I was just like, I wanted to like this so much. You have no idea how much I've been wanting to enjoy this, because I had not been looking forward to movies for ages, and finally here was one that I thought was like, yes, bring the superhero movies back, bring them back, but like the quality of it, and there's quality, okay, there's quality. I'll just say the special effects and the fight scenes, very well done. I think the fight scenes were probably better in Man of Steel, honestly. There's a few really good, like, holy crap, that's cool moments, but I just think that of the fight scenes that were in Man of Steel, they were definitely, felt like they hit more of a punch, and things exploded more. You felt like the impact. There's times in this movie where big stuff is happening, and then we just do other stuff for a while and completely forget about it. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. I might bump it up to a 6 later, but it's just, boy, did this feel blah to me, and I was really hoping for more. So, yeah, spoilers coming up ahead, and this is just going to be off the cuff rambling, because that's how I do it here whenever I get pissed off like this. Like, honestly, I haven't been this disappointed since Iron Man 3. Like, there was other superhero movies that I've been like, that's not good, that was bad, but it's just like, not right now, I'm not really expecting or feeling all that much anticipation, and this one I was, and just did not cut it. Okay. There's a flippin' scene where Lex Luthor is crying in front of Superman. And then they do like the Hulk smash him around, but with Krypto. Look, there's certain villains that can be intimidating, and then you can bring them down for an embarrassing fall. Like Loki was that. Loki is a character who is immensely powerful, who is so, but he's also over the top theatrical to the point that when he is beating the living crap out of you, enjoy it. It's not demeaning to the character, because that's the character. He has the highs, then he has the lows, then he is back on top, then he's back on the bottom. That's what Loki is. It's like Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know, he was one of those characters. He came in and he was threatening and he was terrifying, and then you kind of got to know him a little bit better and saw that he was a little bit tiny pathetic, and then they rode that line of really intimidating at one point and really pathetic the next point. Has really good acting and is really like almost, you know, the suave about him, and then just immediately falls on his face. That's the type of character. But Lex is Superman's number one. It's like having the Joker get the crap beaten out of him by Robin. Like, Robin's just sitting there kicking him in the balls. Sure, that'd be entertaining. You know, I kind of watch it. But it would be degrading to the character. And that's what it was for Lex. And he was like, you don't think I know that envy drives me? That Lex does not give an F what Superman thinks about him. He doesn't view Superman as a person. He views Superman, he is envious of Superman, obviously. He wishes he was Superman, but he views Superman as an evil because he cannot imagine somebody with that much power being good. And so he doesn't care what Superman thinks. Or at least he thinks he doesn't care at the very least. I'm going to get back to Tessmacher. The fact that, like, she's, like, taking selfies and stuff in the background, and I'm like, Lex, you're not gonna do anything about this? The very first scene I saw it, I'm like, that's evidence, you know? And then it's just like, she was so smart, but she was really taking selfies with evidence in the background. You don't think a smart guy like Lex would make sure, like he's like, oh, he's watching me. I have to go down to these degraded areas of Metropolis because he's always watching me through the cameras. And I'm just like, you don't think he tracks your cell phone? You don't think he has software to track your flippin' cell phone? What the flippin' heck is wrong with you? And then, okay, I don't want to give it's Nicholas Hoult, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to say that he didn't do anything right or there wasn't good stuff about his character. As I say, the scene where he was, like, doing roulette and then he ends up shooting the guy. And then, like, it was just the way he played it. Like, he shoots the guy after the second question because it was, like, roulette. You never know where it is. And then he goes, oh, I thought I'd have more responses than that. And that's a funny line because, you know what? It is one of those things where whenever a villain plays roulette and is pointing the gun, it goes off or is about to go off on number like 5, 6, or 4, yeah, and it went off on 2. You know, like that is something funny, but it's the way he delivered it. He should have said, "Huh, I thought I would have had more questions. Oh well, see you tomorrow. Bring a new one." But the way he said it was like, "Oh, I thought I'd have more chances. Oh, I'll be here tomorrow with a new one." You know, it doesn't have that cool, like, diabolical nature of the character. And why on earth was so many of his staffs, like, so happy whenever Superman got hit? There's so many scenes where, like, Superman gets hurt and they're like, yeah! I'm like, why are you happy about this? I don't get it. Like they should just be, like, blank stares. Like, these are people who are afraid of Lex Luthor. They do not have passion for their job. They have passion to stay alive. And then, the biggest kick in the pants that really started me going, what? And really started me disliking this movie. Oh, Superman was sent here as a conqueror. What? Like, what? What? Look, I'm not saying that everything is untouchable when it comes to origin stories. I remember when I played the Batman Telltale game. In that game, they said that you find out that the Waynes were actually a crime family. Bruce didn't know about it, but they were the biggest crime family in Gotham City. And at first I was like, no, but I'm like, it's actually a really interesting take because now Bruce is paying for the sins of his father, and he's trying to rectify and stop all these terrible things, or the consequences of his family's actions. And it was it's a different take, so I didn't hate on it. I actually accepted it after a while. But Krypton's origins, like Krypton was being destroyed, and you think that it's like the scientist is like, oh, I tried to save the planet, but it's not going to be saved. And so now I got to save my son. My son, kill everybody. Be a flipping conqueror. I want you to destroy these other planets. That's what's important right now. I love you so much. Kick him in the balls. Have a harem. Like, what the frick are you talking about? Krypton is like being a planet of dictators. Like, where's his other wives then in the video? Where's his other wives? Where he's like, here's all my Kryptonian wives. One of them's your mother. You know, like, what the... No, what the flippin' heck is wrong with you? It's wrong. It's flippin' wrong. And I know they try to have this whole, well, you get to choose who you are. What is with these flippin' movies? This one and Man of Steel is like, it's all about choice. See, Superman was born. He wasn't bred like all the other Kryptonians that we decided they did in this movie for some reason. So he has the choice. And this one is like, see, Superman's parents wanted him to be a conqueror, but he has a choice to not be. So you made him into flippin' Goku? Like there wasn't enough comparisons with those two characters already. And you know what? Even that doesn't make sense. Because why isn't Supergirl in the end of this movie, who is, you know, like, were they both babies? Is that what it is in this reality? Because otherwise, Supergirl should also want to be a conqueror. Yeah, Supergirl should be like, yeah, let's take it over. Oh, but Supergirl pissed me off the most. You are going to make me say that The Flash did something better than your movie? The Flash's Supergirl, like obviously the Supergirl's only in one scene, but is a bajillion times more relatable and better than this flippin' Supergirl. Oh, I'm a party girl. I like to get drunk. See you later, babe. Like, what on earth are you doing? This is a girl that, unlike Superman, she's more tragic than Superman because she remembers Krypton. She grew up on Krypton. She saw her planet dissolve and explode. She lived through it, and then she was tasked with saving her, her cousin, who was a baby, and then she awakens and he's a full adult. It's so much for her to handle. The Supergirl comic book, that one that I'm having up there, that like handles that so well. And here you think she'd be like, what other? I just want to party. Wow. Like, what the? Also, yeah, Ultraman just make it bizarre. Like, this movie had some brilliant ideas. Okay, I liked the scenes of the other pocket dimension and everything, and then it was encroaching on the world, but it seemed to not be that big a deal. It really didn't. And like, there's a scene where like Superman catches a building and like one car is stuck under it and it drives off. I'm like, what happened to all the other cars that were there? It's like. Like, and they do some good stuff. Like, there's a scene where Superman's fighting the giant monster, and he's really trying to save it. Like, he's trying to not, get it killed, but the Justice Gang, oh my gosh, that was a terrible joke. I hate it when people say, like, oh, we're still working on the name, Fan Four Stick. Yeah, it's a work in progress, or whatever, stupid, it's a stupid joke, okay? Just call yourself the Justice League. Nobody cares. Oh, and another thing, I didn't think I'd have to go back to talking about the Flash movie again, but can we not have scenes with CGI babies anymore? Like, there's an entire fight scene where Superman is holding Metamorpho's baby, and it's so jarring, the effects are so awkward, and it's just like, kid would be dead, baby would be dead. Why you make me think of dead babies right now? Because the baby would be dead, the baby would be dead, the baby would be dead. You can have a scene where he saves a baby. Just don't have a fight scene where he's spinning and flirting. Like, the baby would be dead. Why'd you even include an after credits scene? Where Superman's just like, it doesn't matter. Well, did you expect it to? Okay, what else pissed me off? There was a lot of stuff. Like, I liked Metamorpho, and I liked how they showed his powers. I liked like when Superman was trying to break out of that cage and stuff, and Metamorpho was helping him. Everyone else, instead of showing their appreciation and wanting to be released, they're so afraid that they try to rat on him. But like, would you not have a camera on him at all times? And the moment that Metamorpho stops, and that's like another thing. Superman's in a cage for like a good half hour of this movie. It's terrible. And there's too many Crypto jokes. Look, Crypto is cute, and there's some fun scenes. But there was too many. There was too many jokes with this dog, and I just really, really got tired of it after a while. Superman got his butt kicked way too much in this. And that's saying something. Like, okay, I was wanting something that was the perfect mix of Superman Returns and Man of Steel in terms of fighting and saving. Because Superman Returns, it was all saving people and no fighting. Superman Man of Steel was all fighting people, no saving people. So I'm like, okay, I want a good mix. I want a really good mix of, hey, he fights these people here, but he saves these people here. And I think I got it. In a lot of ways, I got it. In a lot of ways, Superman was just getting his butt kicked all the time. And I liked some of it, like in the beginning where Lex is using, it's Bizarro. I'm just going to say, oh yeah, let's talk about that. So, Man of Steel, the last time they did this, there was a big controversy over Superman killing somebody. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Well, they did it again. He killed somebody. You might be like, well, it was a clone. So? They had a scene in here where Superman saved a squirrel, and I was like, that's great. Yeah, Superman's going the extra mile. But, it's just a clone, so I can kill it. It's still a sentient being. Superman, the real Superman, not to say that Corn Sweat did a terrible, terrible job. Look, I think this is still salvageable. It just wasn't the home run hit that I was wanting from this new DC. I wanted a movie that showed that things were going to be different. Not that different things happen, that things were going to be different. And just some simple stuff like, oh, look, here's a new character, the Engineer. Or maybe it's a character from the comics, I don't know. But, or like, oh, here's Ultraman. Yeah, but it's a clone, so it's Bizarro. But you could have made it Bizarro. You didn't have to him say, like, me Bizarro, Superman. But they could have taken off the mask and it was his face, but chalk white and cracks all over it. And someone like us comic fans knows, like, oh my gosh, it's Bizarro, or their version of Bizarro. And you called it Ultraman, but Ultraman's a different Superman from a different universe. So it's not the same. Honestly, and it's like this Engineer character. Maybe it's from the comics, maybe it's not. But if you could have made it Mercy, you could have just named it Mercy, and, comic book fans would have been really happy with it. But people like to do their own thing. Like, Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner were good. Hawkgirl doesn't do anything in this movie except kill a guy. And it's just like, I'm not Superman. Okay. You also haven't done anything. Like, in all the fight scenes, you, like, bashed a creature in the eye, but they didn't really show that your mace did any major damage. Also, Luthor said that she wasn't an alien, so I guess she's not from Thanagar. And Luthor's plan to just, like, make his own country, it's weak. It's like Superman Returns all over again, where he wants to make his own country. Like, it's just weak, guys. It's really, really weak. And then he's like, yeah, but it was all just to mess with you. It's like, okay, that's closer, but it doesn't feel like the truth, Like, there's a couple scenes where, it looked like Luthor had the power. And the way Superman just gives himself up, it's not entirely out of character, but he just walks right into Luther's hands. Like, if he gave himself up to the government, and then Luther's like, hi, didn't think you'd see me again, and it was Luther, but he didn't realize that he was giving himself up to Luther, then I could see that working. But he just basically says, alright, Lex, you in, take me in. Honestly, and this is going to sound dumb, but I had more hope after... I'm not meaning like in general as a person. I mean, like, I had more hope for the franchise after Man of Steel. And Man of Steel had more problems. It's a worse movie, overall. It had better fight scenes. And say what you will, but Superman did not feel as weak. I feel like this movie does understand Superman more, but it also doesn't stay as true to the lore as it should. Like, people were going on and on about how it's like, ooh, this is a movie about how Superman's an immigrant. And no, not really. It's not really a theme in here at all. Like, it's about, he has to choose to be his own person, and that's about it. But it's not really about him being an immigrant at all in any way. I don't know. I didn't like it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. But yeah, I just really didn't care for it. As I say, it's not terrible, but it pissed me right off.
Be sure to check out some of these other videos on my channel. And wait for more coming soon.